My name's Tami Mensh. I'm the Director of Coaching Education at Sofia. I'm partnering up here with Kaz Gaddis, and she's a faculty at Sofia, coach extraordinaire with the focus of neurodiversity and ADHD, and she brings a lot of vim and vigor and zest to the conversation. So happy to have her here. And I see John just entered, so wonderful. We got a current Sofia student here as well. John, nice to see you. Um, so what we're going to do today is we're going to introduce anybody that hasn't been here before. Just, I'm going to give you a chance to just say hello, say what kind of coach you are, what your relationship with coaching is, or what, where you are with it in terms of your experience, or are you credentialed, or have you gone to Sofia? Just a little bit about your coaching life, just a couple words or two, just so we can get to know you better. Again, we have the spreadsheet in the chat, so you can add your name and any information so you can stay in touch with each other and begin to learn from each other and collaborate if you want. I'm going to open the floor for any shares. If anybody has had anything in the last month that they want to share with us, that they learned, or a success, a rose or a thorn, or anything, a challenge that they want to share. I would love to hear what's going on in your world. And then I'm going to mention a word about the new coaching competencies. They were updated in 2025. So I want to just mention a little bit about that, but we'll do a deeper dive into that a little bit later. And then we're going to do a skills drill. And I don't want anybody to get nervous. It's totally for fun. It's play, it's experiment. It's just to see, just to try on some of our coaching skills, to work with those muscles just a little bit, and very low stakes way to play. So we'll do a little bit of that, unpack what we experienced, and then any Q&A at the end. How does that sound? Good, everybody? All right. Anybody that has not been here that would like to just say hello and just give us a little bit about your coaching background or your interest in coaching? Yeah, Amanda, come on up.
Hi, Tammy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. Hi, Tammy. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to say a quick hello because this is my first coaching cafe. My name is Amanda King, and I'm in Calgary, Canada, playing in the snow today. I just started the MATP program at Sofia this fall. And so I was in Costa Mesa for the week seminar and learned a little bit about the coaching concentration, which I'm really interested in. And I've been a school counselor for over 20 years. And so when Tami did her talk about the coaching concentration, it really resonated with me, and it felt like it was in my wheelhouse. So I'm really excited to learn more. And I just kind of wanted to jump on today to observe mostly. So just wanted to say hi and thank you.
Welcome, Amanda. Thank you for being here, following your curiosity to the Coaching Cafe. Thank you so much. Pamela, were you?
Okay. I'm not familiar with Microsoft thing here. So I graduated from the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology in 92, Master's in Transpersonal Counseling. And I was in the PhD program, but I did not complete the PhD. I have done the Hudson coaching training some years ago, and I really loved doing the work, but there was like a perfect storm in my life. My mother died, my husband was sick, and the coaching thing all fell apart for me, or to stay with it. And when I saw the email from Sofia, I just was very curious about this cafe. So thank you for doing this, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And I live in Taos, New Mexico.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Did you take any coaching courses while you were at ITP?
Coaching was not a thing when I was at ITP.
Okay.
Coaching came out later,
Okay. Okay.
but I
Good.
went to Hudson in 2013.
Uh-huh.
So it was
Uh-huh.
a while ago.
Did you get a certificate or anything like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay.
completed the Hudson program.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Let's do coaching ITP style now, right? Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else want to pop in and that hasn't been here before and introduce themselves?
I'll pop in. Just for the record, Tammy, I did watch pretty much the whole hour of your previous November session. That was exciting. So I feel like I'm an old timer on this Coaching Cafe. So I just completed the 1 year session this recent summer, and I'm excited. I have my level 1 paper certificate, I guess. And I'm just here out of curiosity, like our former person. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, uh, I'm helping a lady who's a friend. She's taking care of her child of 16 years old, who has cerebral palsy, and she's having trouble meeting her rent. And I told her I have experience in training, and I think there's a lot of people who are caregivers of other children with similar disabilities who would really like a straightforward course on caregiving, because basically it's your life being devoted to your child or the person you're caring for. And now I'm sitting here thinking, wow, would up and coming coaches who are still looking for their remaining hours be interested, and of course this is a conversation, in coaching some of these parents and caregivers in this kind of course we've been offering. So I just, that's an idea that came up on the spur of the moment, but I think it's worth having a conversation about.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to, pair people up with people that need coaching. And
Yeah,
what I would suggest, John, is put that information in that spreadsheet that Kaz had do it. Say that 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 to contact you if you want to be paired up. They be paired up with any caregivers for pro bono coaching. Is that what you meant, pro bono? Or did
yeah,
you mean paid?
exactly. And
Okay.
it'd be other, candidates for the coaching certificate would be paired up with those people as well.
Great. Yeah, please put that opportunity in the spreadsheet. That would be great. And it's good to
Thanks.
see you here. All right.
Great to see
I
you guys.
yeah. All right. Anybody else want to unmute and say hello that hasn't been here? I see
I'll say
Jay
a quick
popped
bye.
in. Okay.
Hello, my name's Lauren. I just got enrolled at Sofia, and I'm just kind of making sure all the tech is working. I just had to make my account, and there was a blip sound coming through. I'm not sure if you guys could hear that before or if that was just on my end. It's
I,
not
I,
there anymore, but
I
only when my mic was off. Okay, I'm just gonna keep playing around with it, and yeah, this is my complete introduction to anything group oriented at Sophia, and I'm just diving in.
welcome, Lauren. We can hear you perfectly, and we don't hear any weird beeps. And we don't see you if you intend for your camera to be on, then that's something that's not working. But we're glad you're here and that you're decided to join a group event. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I
Yeah.
can't be on camera today, but
It's okay,
thanks
no
for the
problem.
listening.
Do you have any coaching? Have you taken any coaching courses or have any background or interest in coaching at all you want to share?
I do work on a crisis line as an advocate for DV and SA survivors, and I run my own little movement at events, I guess. I don't do coaching so much there. It's more of a consent edutainment movement. Um, so maybe just the crisis line is more like that, other than just being a good friend.
Wonderful. That's a great service that you're doing for sure and much needed. So thanks for being here with us with your time.
Thanks for having
Um,
me.
yeah, and I see Frederick just popped in and Jay. So he's trying to activate his camera. Okay, so Jay, did you want to say anything or you're
Yes, hi. Hi, peace, everybody. It's so good to be here. I will be on camera next time, not this time. Um, Face is not here, spirit is present. And I just am so happy to finally be able to log on to one of these. Tammy and Kat started this during my cohort, and I recently graduated from the program, and it has been so helpful, very instrumental in just ensuring success in the program and beyond. And I'm also here to say that I am willing and available to assist in any way I'm able to. I really, really enjoy coaching and I enjoy the process. It has changed my life, and I'm here to be of service.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, that just warmed me up when I heard you say that. So thank you.
I miss y'all.
I know. You guys, we're going to get really used to each other.
Got to do it.
I know. That's great. That's great. All right, I think the other people have been here before, but if you have something to say, please feel free to unmute and share. I was going to have a call for shares. Anything that you wanted to say that has happened since the last time that we met that you wanted to share with the group. I did get a call from Jen Galucci, who graduated with her certificate a year ago from Sofia, and she was on the call last time, and she was asking about her ACC, and she was getting ready to take her test, and she emailed me, and she said that she has passed her ACC. So cheers to Jen. She wanted me to give you the heads up that if you're going to be taking the test, to study up on the difference between coaching and therapy. That seemed to really be prevalent in the questions. And it wasn't quite the same exam that you had, Kaz. It was more of a knowledge-based exam, so it was a little more doable, and not as not the same kind of format. So she passed it with flying colors, and she said, study those ethics and core competencies and the difference between therapy and coaching, and that will help you to prepare for the exam. So, good job, Jen. Anybody else have any other shares they want to share with the group, or a question?
I was just going to share. It's interesting because from my knowledge, they only have one test, but also interesting perspective wise of maybe how we interpreted or perceived it.
Mhm.
Because they did have questions related to all that, but most of it was scenario based. Some of it was a couple of general questions at the beginning, but I'm so happy that she passed. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite as long. It didn't have as many questions. It was shorter. I don't, so they do have different versions of it as they're rolling out and things are changing and you have options to take different versions. So I don't know how she ended up with this
Cool.
particular version, but hey,
Yeah.
it worked for her, and we're really proud of her.
That's
So that's
awesome.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have any shares or updates that they want to share with the group? Any client stuff, any personal stuff? Okay. All right. Um, oh, Frederick just said, I just completed my first semester. Um, Wait a minute. It's Sophia and intro to transpersonal studies. Great, great, great. Awesome. And it looks like there might be some other people writing. Okay, so um, yeah, that's great. If there's nothing else, then we will move on to our next thing. Um, as I mentioned, I teased, uh, we had this is an update in the core competencies from ICF. There was a from the last time there was an update was 2019, and they just did a revision to the core competencies in 2025. So there wasn't a lot of huge wholesale changes. A lot of things, the tense was changed to make it more current, and to I don't know, it's better wording and better understood. There's a little more clarity in the competencies. And there was one change that got a lot of buzz, a lot of controversy actually around it, because they added the word shares in the evoking awareness. They, instead of just, the coach is not one to give advice, and they added the word that the coach shares knowledge. They added the word knowledge there, and it caused a huge uproar. And what are we, that then it means we're not coaching if we're sharing knowledge. And so there's a very specific way to share knowledge and still stay within the coaching realm. And so I wanted to invite you to take a look at the updated competencies. There are some charts out there that show the difference between the 2019 version and the 2025 version, and you could see. And then I thought next month we would do a little bit of a deeper dive into that competency and what that means and what that looks like in your coaching. So, any questions about that? Has.
So I added the link in the chat with that comparison chart for anybody who wants to look at that. I was just going to share from a neurodivergent perspective. That has been a big difference between the ICF and PAC, who is the association, kind of like an ICF, but for those, that's funny. I'm waking up on a Sunday, 4 hours later. For those of us that are also working with neurodivergent folks, there is a certain level of things that we do share with them that is very different than what ICF has had as far as sharing knowledge and sharing more. This is how you can actually do it, depending on what the specifics is that they're needing. And so that sounds like they're starting to build a bridge, because that is part of PAC already. So that's really cool to hear that. And also I wanted to share that for those that need, okay, but like how, right? There's a difference between coaching and also then holding space for what the client specifically needs to connect to that next step for them. So yeah, really cool to hear.
Yep. Sharing resources, and it stays very much within the realm of coaching, where you share without attachment, with permission. It's still client directed. So I thought it might be a good exercise to practice that next time, to see what those little differences are, because coaching is evolving with the type of coaching that is being offered, career coaching, and in some cultural places, they expect to have some knowledge within the coaching. So it helps us have more cultural application as well in some places. But the point is to really learn how to stay within the coaching when you are offering knowledge. So this is just a little teaser. I wanted to invite you to take a little deeper dive into it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it next time. One person, little T, one person in the educators forum for ICF said that he was leaving, that he was no longer going to be part of ICF anymore because of that word that was added. So he's like, this is off the rails. This has nothing to do. He was from Paris. And he said, this has nothing to do with coaching. How do I withdraw my coaching certification and accreditation from my school? So just to show you what the deep, vein that cut into, that one change. So, yeah. And so when we practiced it, when some of you went through, it was not, we worked very hard not to share knowledge, to tap into the client's knowledge, which we still do. So I want to make sure that we're still doing it in the ethically coach way. And we'll work on that next time. Does that sound good to everybody? Sound a little juicy? Okay. Okay, good. All right. Are we ready to, anybody have any questions or comments at this point? Okay.
I have a question. We're being recorded and the chats are part of the recording. Where do we access that information? Is it under Coaching Café? There's a website?
Which information is that, Vicky?
The recorded sessions that have the chats with the links?
Oh, I think that the marketing sends it out after.
Oh, because I don't know if I've received that either.
Okay. I will I'll check into that for you because I want that would be great because John watched the video. Where did you see the video, John?
I just clicked on the link to see what happened when I clicked on the link, and then a link to the November session was there. So the old link from the old email.
Oh, when you signed up, when you registered, there was a link to the old session.
No, I just clicked on the old link that was sent to me for the November meeting.
Okay.
It sounds like the original link to join the live call was replaced by the replay. John, is that what
Correct.
you're saying? Okay.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
But maybe
All
there's
right.
a
Switched to
link
my
that has
desktop,
all
by the way.
four.
Jason, our marketing person, is listening in, and he's typing something, so he might have some. Oh, okay. Coaching Cafe recordings will be on the YouTube channel.
I watched the last one on YouTube as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And so can I just ask a quick question, Kaz? Is the link that you just attached, my question was, can the non-coaches have access to the ICF updated competencies?
Yeah, that link is directly from their website, so anyone
Okay.
can access that. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
ICF,
thanks.
ICF.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be able to find all that stuff under the credentialing and for ICF, the core competencies. There are 8 core competencies. And we're going to work on 2 of them today. All right. So are we ready to move into our kind of practice jam session? Okay. I like that Stephen's saying yes. Thank you, Stephen, for giving me that little acceptance there, that you're ready. So what the most important, and I will say the most important competency of the 8 is competency 3. And I will say that. I will make that statement because competency 3, which is establishing agreements. Okay. That means that you are establishing a goal for the session. And the reason why that I say that this is the most important competency is because if you don't establish the goal for the session, you are not coaching. You're having a very expensive conversation. Remember, Tracy, that Vicky used to say that, right? And so having a goal or a focus makes it coaching. Otherwise, you're just having this like friend conversation, any old kind of conversation, but putting a focus on what are we here to talk about today? Why is it important to you? What do you want to get out of this session? And what would make this meaningful for you is competency 3. So, and you know what? It's the hardest competency for coaches to do, because it feels very unnatural. You're not, because you don't usually talk like this. What is it that you would like to focus on today? You're like, wait a minute. It feels too icky, or it doesn't feel natural. People have a hard time with that. But by the mere process, of a client crystallizing what it is they really need and want is a lot of the work being done right there. Well, I don't know how I feel that. So what is it that we're really getting at here? What is really the heart of the matter here is a lot of the work that the client is helpful to the client in getting clarity, just knowing what it is that is bothering them, what they want to focus on, what they need, what would make them feel successful by the end of the session, what kind of progress they want to make, why it's important to them. So that is competency 3, is getting the goal. What is it that we are here to talk about today? And we're going to practice that. But I'm going to throw in a little bit more zest, okay? A little more spice and a little more heart-centeredness. And here we're talking about competency 4. Competency 4, cultivating trust and safety. Your client will not open up to you if they do not feel safe. So we make our clients feel safe by making them feel seen, making them showing empathy, care, concern. I'm with you. I feel you. So what we're going to practice today is a combination of competency 3 and competency 4. They go really well together, and I'll tell you how. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a volunteer who's going to bring a coaching issue. It doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world. Any one of you that have something that's kind of tugging at you that you think might be a good example to throw into the mix here, I welcome you to start thinking, is there something that I want to get that would be a good example for this exercise? And what we're going to do is we'll hear about the coaching issue, the topic that the client is coming to the session with. And then you're going to pretend like you're the only coach in the room. And you're going to say, you're going to listen to they're going to say it one time. Everybody's going to listen. And then you can unmute when you're ready. And you'll start by offering a reflection, which could look something like, that means that you heard what the client had to say. Wow, that sounds like that is really hard. That was really hard for you, right? Or I really want to congratulate you. I know you worked really hard on that. Or it sounds like this is really a struggle that you're having that's pulling you in a lot of different directions. It's not repeating what the client is saying word for word. It is reflecting the emotional tone of what you're hearing so they know that you feel them, you see them. And then, so you're going to start by saying, wow, I know that was really, really hard. But that sounds like that was really, really hard for you. That's competency 4. Then competency 3. So what is it exactly that you would need from this conversation today based on what you just shared with me? Right? So you're offering that reflection. I hear you. I feel you. I see you. What is it like to be this person right now in this moment? And then followed by a question. So a statement followed by a question to help to get the focus, to get the agreement, to begin to get the goal. You're not going to get it all in that one question, but what's going to start to get us there? How's that landing on you guys? Who's up for it? Who's up to practice that? Kaz? Anybody else? I don't see other people's. If your screen's not on, you could still play. If your video. Who else is gonna do the experiment? Frederick, you in? Cool.
So I was just expressing my excitement for everyone. I would love for others to go, and I'm here to hold space unless you want me to participate. But that was me just saying, yes, let's do this.
Yeah. And I was asking, that's what I was asking. I'm asking who's up for the drill? Everybody feel comfortable with it? Anybody? I'm looking for a little feedback here. Looking for a little feedback loop here. Yes, Pamela? Cool. All right, Stephen, thumbs
Okay.
up. Tracy, thumbs up. Okay, did I see a thumb up from you, Vicky? I'm not sure. Yay, cool. Okay. If your cameras are not on and your thumbs are up, great. And you can still just unmute yourself and go along with it. All right. So, and if you're not ready and you're just observing and you're like, hey, whoa, I'm going into this is too much too fast, that's fine too. Just sit and observe and just get a little taste of what we're doing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask first, is there anyone that has a coaching issue that they would like that we could play with for this drill?
Vicky, you're on mute.
Well,
I'm
what
not sure if you think you're sharing. Okay, yep.
Oh, let's see. Okay, hi. Um, with many of my clients, the goal in coaching is to make time for creative practice each day as a
Mm-hmm.
regular occurrence,
Is this a
whether they're
question that you're
artists or
asking?
um, well, it's a coaching topic.
Oh,
So how would
topic.
I frame that? Yeah, coaching
Okay.
topic.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if you were just asking a general question or if
Oh,
you were
yes.
offering a topic. Okay. So is that a topic that you would like to throw in the ring to get a reflection and a question back?
Yes, I think that would be
Cool.
lovely.
All right, great. Let's play. Um, all right, so is everyone clear on how this works? Vicky is going to, I'm going to say, okay, Vicky, what is it that brought you to coaching today? And then Vicky's going to say, well, and you're the client, Vicky, right?
Okay.
And you're going to say, well, la, share what it is. And then everybody can take their time. When you're ready, unmute yourself and say your reflection and your question. We're not going to give any responses to that. You'll unmute. The next person can go, the next person can go, the next person can go. And then when everybody has gone, we will talk about it. All right. So Vicky's not going to talk back to you.
Yes.
We're just going to start the very beginning. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So is everybody ready? All right. Um, Hi, Vicky. What brings you to coaching today?
Good afternoon. Well, what brings me to coaching today is that I would like to make time for regular creative practice in my life.
Hmm.
And maybe I should expand on what I mean by that. You know, as a creativity coach myself, um, museum expressive arts educator, and visual language consultant, um, I'm helping clients make time for creative practice in the museum space. And there's many different ways you can do creative practice, but I find myself that it's very important for me to do it as well, to keep myself in a space, a transpersonal space of openness and accessing my higher self and feeling self-actualized as a person myself every day. So that's something I thought would be beneficial to discuss in a coaching session.
Great. Whenever you're ready, anyone that's ready can unmute with their reflection and their question.
Well, Vicky, what is the actual action that you do to get people to open up and increase their creativity?
Well, my
You're not,
specialization. Oh,
sorry.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
supposed to
Yeah,
respond.
we're just gonna,
Okay.
we're gonna, it's interesting because you wanna continue the
Yes.
conversation, which is great.
Okay.
So you might want to make a note of what Frederick asked you, Vicky.
Could he repeat it, please?
Well, what
Since I
is
interrupted
the
him.
actual action? I know there's an attitude you want to encourage, but what would it look like? In your creativity coaching? Hello?
We're gonna just wait for the next person to do their reflection and question. Yeah, thank you, Frederick.
I can go next.
Right.
Vicki, I hear you saying that you'd like to make more time for yourself to work on your own creative practice. What does that look like for you, and how would you like to focus our conversation today?
Thank you, Tracy.
I'll go next. So Vicky, I hear
Can you
you
turn your
saying,
sound up a little bit, Bea?
is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. So Vicky, I hear you say that you realize you need to spend some time yourself on creative practice to help your clients and help yourself. So what is it you have? What is it you're hoping to achieve from our conversation today?
Thank you, Bea.
Hey, Vicky, I hear that you want to cultivate your own creativity so that you can help other people in your coaching practice. Uh, what would that look like to you today if we had a small little piece we could take that could you could use with your clients and yourself next week? We can work on.
Stephen. Pamela.
Okay, looking for the mute button. Hi, Vicky. A creativity coach. That just sounds wonderful. What I think I heard that touched me the most was your own inner desire, inner need to cultivate, to keep your practice alive on a daily basis. That connects you to something that nourishes you. And so I'm really curious how we could use this little bit of time today to support you in moving the needle just a little bit closer to doing that. What would be really helpful for you in this time that we have together? So thank you. It's a great question, Vicki.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Is that everyone?
Well, Vicky, how do you get your client talking when they're quiet and they're silent, like we are?
Thanks for the question, Frederick. All right, did everyone offer their reflection and question that wanted to? Okay. All right. So first I want to ask everyone, what did that feel like for you to listen to Vicky and to reflect back and to think of a question to help focus the conversation? What was that like for you?
Tammy, I think you made it very easy for me. I haven't done this really in quite a while. So when you laid it out very clearly what the two competencies were and how they work together, and then just said, do this, do that. And so it felt comfortable to try, especially after hearing some other people, because I'm like, is what I'm thinking correct? Or what might it look like? So I appreciate having an example first and then trying it out.
Good, good, good. Thank you for your courage in giving it a try. Yeah. And anyone else want to share how that felt for them?
Yeah, I agree with Bea that it was great to have you go over it first so that we knew what to do. But from my coaching, it's a little bit of a change, and I'm glad I could see that I needed to address them with empathy first, and then look for the goal, not just look for the goal immediately and do the empathy later on.
What was the difference, do you think?
I think you needed to establish the empathy first, like you've demonstrated today. It's a better technique, I think. You just tell them you hear them immediately. Now we'll work on what your goal needs to be.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard you, and you said, Stephen, I heard you saying that that you want to work on yourself. So you were reflecting back what you were hearing, right? And then, and then what would that look like for you today? Right?
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
I need to be more reflective in my coaching too. Yeah, and I need to practice that definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that a lot of people they're so anxious to get that goal that they're missing that piece of really feeling the client first. And
Yes.
it opens the ears, it opens the heart, it opens the trust, and then asking a question that's based on what you just heard. Not just a question, a naked question, they call it, when it doesn't have anything to do with what you just heard. It's based on what you just heard them say. Anybody else have anything they want to share about how that felt for them? Just doing the reflection, and was it different than you usually do? Was it harder? Did it feel what did you experience?
Yeah, it was different because I didn't really know exactly how to respond. So more of this practice will be helpful.
Good. Good. I want to turn it to Vicky. Vicky,
Hi.
that was a great issue to bring. Um, I was curious if anybody saw themselves in that question. Right? Stephen saying yes. And if you did see yourself in that question, how did it affect your presence or your listening? Did it add a filter of any kind? Did you notice?
I'm surprised always with my clients in that their issues are usually the issues that I'm facing at the same time. It's almost always the same. It's kind of paranormal or something. I don't know what it is, but it's just like you have the same problem that I do.
Right, right. It's like we're attracting it, and so that we can solve it in our own way. Yeah, yeah. Vicky, what did you experience hearing from so many different perspectives? And listen, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. The way we approach it is part of who we are, and part of how we hear, and part of how we see, and part of how we feel. Um, so Vicky, what did you experience hearing from all these different angles?
Well, it was very interesting to hear the questions and the reflections. Um, some of the things that I wrote down are what would this action look like to you as creativity coaching for the self? I thought that was a good question. And, what is that creative process that you would be doing? That was also very helpful. And what does it look like to you, this daily practice? And Pamela mentioned, how can we support you in achieving it? That was very interesting. How does one support oneself in getting to that goal? And I think that was very visual for me. I'm a very visual person because I'm in the arts, but the actual action and what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And why do I need support? That's a good question because it brings up the first coaching idea. Why do I feel I need to do that? So I thought those were very thoughtful questions and reflection.
Yeah, Pamela, I really felt your reflection in my body. Um, you know, you were, oh, creativity coach. It felt very curious, right? It felt very natural. You wanted to keep this alive in you. You were speaking kind of my language, I think. So I was responding, and how can we use this time? you know it's putting it in the client's hands. Having the client direct the conversation. How could we use this time so that you can move the needle? And then even further, what would moving the needle look like? Why is this so important to you today? And so I really feel like, in terms of the way that we were reflecting, Pamela, it wasn't a repeat of what Vicky said. It was a reflecting her through you, but without leading her, without you putting yourself, this is going to be maybe sound confusing, without you putting yourself in there. Kaz, what am I trying to say? I see you doing this.
Yeah, being able to hold space without getting in the box with them. Like you
Right.
see the box, you see either the excitement or the pull of the energy potentially if it's like a sad thing, but not getting in there with them, just being able to support them outside of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Right.
Tracy's comment too about how can we focus the conversation for you today.
Mm-hmm.
That was very, very good.
Yep. That is establishing the agreement right there. Yep. How do we focus this? Yep. Very, very good.
If I just want to say one thing, that how I was taught was that we lead from behind.
Mm-hmm. Lead by following.
Yeah, but it's like kind of what you said. How do we hold that space so that we create a container that holds them to move forward in their own direction?
Yes. Yes.
Very nice.
Kaz, did you want to add anything else, or does anyone else want to add anything about this practice?
Sure. A couple of things that I heard in a few different questions. First off, before I even go there, everyone did an amazing job. It is challenging no matter how long you've done it or not done it to even in a group setting share the things. Also, everyone has their unique style. and we all listen, we see things differently. So just like kudos for everyone for sharing, those of you that did. Um, Three things that I wanted to just share back is one, for yourself, know how you process. So I write a lot when I'm in coaching sessions. Some people don't at all. I let my clients know that when I'm looking down, it's because this is how I process. And so I share that because for me, it helps me with clarity in my questions. And it helps me feel like I'm grounded because I have what they're sharing and what's coming up for me based on what they're saying. You don't have to do that, but just sharing the clarity of the questions that we're asking is something for us to continue to develop, as well as the stacking. So some of us, as we were processing, were adding one, two, potentially two and a half questions in that same reflection back. There's this life principle, coaching principle that says you can't see the picture when you're in the frame, meaning the person that we're coaching, right? They're in the frame. So we're there to help them kind of see, hey, here are some edges you can stretch into. And this is what we see from our vantage point, just like they have their own within the frame, within the picture. Um, so stacking questions makes it harder because they're this close to their situation, their thought, their feelings. So if we're asking a lot of questions at once, it might confuse them more. They're not sure maybe which ones to answer first or which ones were asked. So just something to keep in mind. So that was point two. And then point three, and this is something that I have to be super conscious of sometimes because I get really excited for my clients. And so there's a very fine line in coaching between our judgments and our excitements. So, for example, maybe, I've had clients where they got their business to where they wanted it to be and it made it work for their brains. And like, we're excited because this has been a pain, right? This is why they came to us, was for this thing. And so inside, I'm like, I am so proud of you. But when that comes out, what is more coach centric to share in that moment would be like, wow, it sounds like, or you must be so proud of yourself for having done all this, right? Because it's not about what we think or how we feel at times. Again, there's moments that we can ask for permission, and obviously our relationship with the clients too. But from ICF perspective, just being careful for anything judgment wise or excitement wise that we want to share back, making sure it's about the client. So those three things I just wanted to share that I observed.
Good observation about the stacked questions. That would be something like, what does that look like for you, and how would you like to focus our conversation today? Then you're like, how does it look for me, and how do I like what, So if you find yourself asking a question, and I do this too, because then it's like, oh, I can make that question better. I can refine that even better, right? But then it's just like, trust yourself and just stop, right? You ask the one question, let it sit there, see what happens, and then you can ask, and then be in the moment of what transpires from that one question, and then take it from there. So, but I know that I have that tendency, like, oh, if I just say it like this, it'll be even better. So I ask it, but it's too many words. We want to be clear and concise and asking one question at a time. It helps the client with their clarity of thinking. And it's a good skill for us.
Yeah. And just to add, some of us might just be wordy people anyway. Hi, shake hands. Welcome to the club if you are. What I have done in that moment, been like, I probably won't say just kidding unless we're in a good energy of the things, but I might be like, let me take that back and let me ask this instead. And then by then my mind's processed so I can say the one question that I was actually trying to get to.
And there's nothing wrong with the silence. Like Frederick, you said, how do you get the client to talk when they're not talking? You don't have to. And the silence is the magic. That's where they're thinking, they're processing. You don't have to, you're holding the space. There's nothing that you're in the emergent when there's silence, and anything can happen in the silence. So don't be afraid of the silence.
Tammy,
I
would you
see.
like me to respond to any of the questions just briefly, or
Gosh, I that would be so interesting, but I want to respect our time, and because it's 2 minutes till the end of our
Oh, okay.
of our session. Let me check in with you guys. How helpful was this for you doing this kind of a drill?
I have a question.
Okay.
Very.
This was very, very helpful, but now
Okay.
I've got questions.
Uh-huh.
So and so we're supposed to establish a goal, but
Uh-huh.
I'm, some of the questions people asked, I thought, okay, it helped open up the person more maybe, but it wouldn't be a question that it would establish a goal. Like, so is it like you ask a couple of questions maybe till you get to, okay, that looks like our goal for today or something like that?
Excellent point. Um, there were questions that were asked today that really weren't helping us get to the goal. They were a little bit jumping to solutions without establishing the goal. And that's a natural tendency of people to say, well, what do you want to do about that? How are we going to fix that? And that is, you're rushing the outcome, rushing the goal, rushing the solution before we're really figuring out what it is that we're here to do together today. What outcome do we want? So that is there were some comments that really weren't helping to focus the goal as much, and that's something that we can talk more about and work more on as we go. Um, uh, and yes, Bea, the goal, a lot of times clients will come to you with an issue that is not what the issue is at all. Kaz is saying yes. They're like, oh, I want to, work on this morning routine, right? Vicky, you said a lot of your clients want this. But is it really about the morning routine? Or is it, what is it that this morning routine is going to do for you? What is it? There's a deeper level. And so sometimes it takes time to get to the goal, and you don't have to, you work on it in the beginning, and you might circle back, and say, we started out talking about that, and now this is coming up. What would be most useful for us to focus the rest of the time on today, this or this? So you're attending to the goal the whole time, but the client is directing the goal, and the goal might change as the client becomes more and more refined in their thinking about what's important to them.
So might it take like 10 minutes, 15
Yeah.
minutes to get
Yes.
to? Okay,
It
that's
might.
what I
It
wanted.
might.
All right,
Yep. It might,
thanks.
especially if your client is very talkative and needs to vent and needs to get things out. So, yeah, it could. It could. And that's an excellent point. Excellent point. All right. I want to be honoring of our time. Um, I want to also say that for our next session, I have January 11th. And would you like to continue to do these drills, or give me a little feedback on what is useful for you in these sessions? Anyone?
Well,
I
I,
love the
I, I
drills.
found this, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I found this
Sorry, you
very,
go.
very helpful. So yeah, I'd
Okay,
like to
good.
continue.
Okay, great. Okay, good to know.
Definitely.
Thank you,
I
Stephen.
might comment, I like the drills and the exercise. I'm also interested in the business side. And I know both you and Tammy and Cassandra, are in business.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get it going, and, what
Mm-hmm.
obstacles have you overcome? I
Okay.
think that's of
Okay.
interest to me and
That
others.
that's a great topic for the upcoming. Should we make that the next one? Should we make that our next one, talking about the business side of coaching? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So bring your ideas, if anything's worked or hasn't worked, that you can share with us as well. Before we sign off, uh, one thing you want to remember about the Coaching Cafe today before we say our jingle.
Coaching.
Hmm?
I think it was very helpful to have the community of coaches listen to each other's questions. I think it builds on each other. It's very fascinating to not just be alone doing the question, but to have other people take the idea of the client and then start to give some options. That was really helpful.
That was the magic word, community. It's always fun to feel a part of a group rather than a sole explorer of the unknown.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well put.
I agree, community and just hearing how everyone else, the variations and how everyone else approaches it is great.
Just as an observer, I thought, I actually thought that Tami was going to do breakout rooms. And so the fact that, I could observe everybody was great. So that was helpful.
Well, I think my takeaway is courage, because it's not easy to do that, what you did today, to take the risk, to put out there what you're thinking and in front of a group. And so that overcoming that is great. And I just want to acknowledge you all for that and for coming and for making the time for it to grow.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And Kaz, and anybody else that would like to sing along? I'm really hoping this thing takes off, but it might not. Kaz, version 2.0.
Ready. There's always time for the jingle.
All right. You ready?
1, 2, 3.
Coaching,
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 coaching
baby,
cafe,
baby.
baby.
Yay!
Love it.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here, and we'll see you next month. Keep your eye out for your email, and I'm here if you need anything. Amanda, stay on. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.